So after this one, Gene Okerlund is backstage again, this time with Doink. He's already desecrated Caesar's statue by painting a clown face on it. We see footage of Doink attacking Crush with his arm cast on Superstars. Then he says that he is bringing a sense of humor to WrestleMania 9. He guarantees after WrestleMania, Crush may be seeing double vision. Now, this is another thing. So the other thing that I did when I was watching all the rules in the build-up to this WrestleMania was I also watched the Superstars at the time because they're all available on the WWE Network. And there's some good stuff on there. There's a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of squash matches, and the majority of it's squash matches. But one of the things that is on there is the Yokozuna attacking Jim Duggan and making him bleed and all that stuff. And that's a genuinely quite impactful angle. This was another one that's on Superstars as well, where basically Doink pretends that he's got a broken arm, so can't face Crush in a match, and then attacks Crush with the cast when Crush's back is turned. And that's what's led to this match. The match itself is 8.5 minutes long. It ends when Crush locks on his kind of head vice move, but then another Doink arrives from behind, hits Crush with another arm cast. The Doinks then perform their little illusion dance, as I've called it, and then Doink pins Crush. Afterwards, Bill Alfonso comes out to inform Joey Morella, the actual official for the match, what had happened, but when they look under the ring, there is nobody there. Matt, how did you feel about this? I think this is the first time we've seen Doink as a heel. Is that right?
Yes, it is, actually, and I can't even believe I'm going to say this. He was all right.
He is all right as a heel. He is all right.
It was verging on, like, it was quite creepy and unsettling. So I was like, okay. I mean, like, I suppose I can get on board with that. I didn't rate the finish, the mirror image type thing. I was like, that's, again, just a little bit too hokey for me. So I can't say that worked. But, as far as a Doink the Clown match goes, I generally was expecting the worst and was pleasantly surprised. By all means, it's not the match of the night or anything, nor is it anything, particularly special to write home about. But again, for a Doink the Clown match, this was pretty good.
Who knew that Crush's entrance music was an absolute tune? I couldn't remember this at all. And also, I must be honest, at 11, I bloody loved Hawaiian Crush. I remember him from Demolition. I like the babyface, and I was in on Crush. And 29 years on, I still quite liked his outfit. A lovely sunset, romantic sunset on the back with some birds flying, great stuff, and a delicious highlighted mullet. The second Doink was Skinner, and he went back under the ring and didn't leave until the show was over. The match wasn't as bad as I thought it would be, but that doesn't say much. And Todd Pettengill afterwards was trying to take a poll in the crowd. Was there two Doinks or was it an illusion? There was some terrible stuff with some Japanese guys. I'm not sure whether they did themselves proud or the company did them dirty here, whatever. And Todd said, yeah, probably both. Todd said he'd been drenched in beer and soda, but had never had a better day. And what a miserable life he must have lived.
So, interesting. I mean, I quite like the double Doink stuff, not because I think it's meant to not be. It's not meant to be an illusion. We're meant to know it's not an illusion, and therefore it's just meant to be a heel almost playing up to the idea that he thinks he can get away with this stuff. So I don't think it's a problem. And he is super creepy as the heel Doink. It's a great shame that they chose to go babyface, and also he, I think, had his own personal demons, and therefore I think it was Skinner was Steve Keirn, wasn't it? I think. Yeah. So I can't remember who. Ray Apollo maybe took over as Doink.
From Matt Bourne, wasn't it? Yeah.
So Matt Bourne was the original Doink, and he was really great at it. But then when they turned him babyface, it became someone else, and it was never as good. This isn't the first time Matt Bourne's appeared at WrestleMania. Of course, he was at WrestleMania 1, losing to Ricky Steamboat. So 2 WrestleMania appearances for him. More than Rick and Scott Steiner. Unbelievable. There you go. I thought this was, it was Crush, wasn't it? Let's be honest, it was Crush. I mean, Crush is a terrible, terrible, terrible wrestler. In terms of his outfit, I actually prefer his heel outfit that he would have later in the year, the sort of black and purple. I found it odd as well. They must have had big plans for Doink. I found it odd that they had Doink go over Crush, regardless of how he did it, because they obviously have big plans for Crush. I mean, eventually, over this sort of year or so, they would give him quite a few pushes over the course of time. He would end up facing Randy Savage and WrestleMania 10 for crying out loud. And yet they put Doink over here. So it was almost like they obviously felt like they had quite a lot in store for him, but never really came to fruition. Yes, then Todd Pettengill makes his first appearance as far as we've seen him on this WrestleMania run, another part of that new generation. And yes, he's with a couple of Japanese photographers. There's some poor stereotypical stuff here going on. There's also, I don't know, there's all kinds of, there appears to be some problems with Todd in general, because he's up in the crowd. The cameraman doesn't seem to be able to follow him the way he wants to be able to because people are getting in the way. And as you said, he says he's covered in beer and soda. What Todd is doing here is bringing the one thing that Todd has got, which is enthusiasm, and never let him down. So can't argue with that, I suppose.